Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Pay and welcome back to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. So first off, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's recently subscribed and been subscribed to the channel. It really makes a big difference and greatly appreciate it. But today I want to cover, in my opinion, the best HQ5 attack strategy. This has absolutely been crushing it for me, and I know a lot of other people in BOG are feeling the exact same way. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
I want to play.
So this is the basic composition. You can kind of mix between 6 to 10 brutes. Sometimes 6 feels like not enough. Sometimes 10 seems like it's taking up too much troop space. So I've been liking 8 right now. Boom carts, you can do between 3 and 5. It really depends on the level of your boom carts, because you'll kind of notice if you have enough to get through. You want to kind of enter the base in 2 or 3 parts, not generally just 2. So 4 right now is kind of the sweet spot for me. I like having 10 Skyfires, and the main reason for this is depending on where someone puts their anti-air, this can be a really good way to take out a good quarter of their base. Or what I'll do is wait for my main pack to kind of move through, take out an anti-air, and then I use Skyfires on the back end to help clean up. And I really like mixing Strikers and Marines to kind of fill the rest. Sometimes I'll use a little bit more Marines than Strikers, but I've been leaning heavier into the Strikers lately. I just find they pack quite a big punch right now at the level that they're at, and they're really good at taking out Mira. So if I lure a Mira out, generally going to use like 20 Strikers to kind of take her out, and then I'm left with the remaining. So yeah, let's jump right into some battles and show you guys how this runs. So let's just jump in here. And I'm going to lead generally with my brutes, because the idea is get them to soak up as much damage as possible. But we're really going to want to pull out the enemy Mira if she's not too deep into the base. That one wasn't really a good base. There was too much stuff on the outside, so let's find a much better example. You know, going through all these different bases, it's kind of interesting because the ghost bases just copy real players. Here's a good one. So it looks like I might be able to pull the Miro just by dropping. Yep. And I'm going to want to come in at the Modar. So I'm actually going to pull her way up here first. Once I get her up, I'm going to let a couple of these Strikers die. And I'm just going to pull her away from the Modar, get my Strikers to kill her, and then ahead of her, drop the Brutes. So we'll get one more up here. Let's get these Strikers in. We'll get some of the Brutes lined up. So you can see I'm really coming at quite a few different angles here. Let's get these Marines in behind. This is why the multi-touch is so important, and I do not recommend people play on the computer because you can't do this. And you're really limiting yourself competitively. Now let's see where the anti-air is. It looks like it's pretty decently spread out, but I could get a couple Skyfires over here starting to help clean up. And also get a couple Skyfires to help take out that turret. You can see the Brutes just moved through the anti-air there, so we know the Skyfires on the back end are good. That Ice Tower is definitely wrecking my group of Strikers, but we've just overwhelmed this base. That's the basic gist of it. Pull the Mira out, lead the Brutes. I like doing, coming at the base in quite a few. You can see I wrap from like 12 o'clock all the way down to 5 o'clock, because you don't want to just come in one spot only. You want to spread your troops out, because if your troops end up clumping and a Modar gets them, that's the end of it. So let's just fast queue up another. We'll do the 8 Brutes, 4 Boom Carts, 10 Skyfire. I'm liking the 40 Strikers, and then the rest Marines. Personally, the whales aren't good enough right now at HQ5. Even at level 2, I also don't find Blaze good enough. What is cool about Blaze is he attacks defenses, but he does do good damage. He's just super squishy. And also because they're a little bit more expensive, it just doesn't make sense to be spending, the oil on the Blaze or the whales right now. So we don't need these Marines there. Let's just fast queue. I love Sapphire for that. And for anyone who doesn't know, please use my creator code Groth. All the proceeds go back to Alliance giveaways and events. So lets us do a lot of fun stuff in BOG. It's free to do. You just do it in the settings. So let's jump into another match here and I'll show you guys another example. Maybe we can find a different style of base so you can see a little bit of a different approach. Maybe even one where it's difficult to enter the boom cart. Now that one's not really good loot for having, it's a higher HQ than mine as well. So you got to be careful. You know, when you're at HQ5, fighting missile turrets is generally not a very good idea. So good practice to kind of stick to your own range. You can bully other bases if there's one that's lower. Like this one doesn't look too bad. It's got a lot of oil. It does have a missile tower. I'm going to skip it. So it's also good to kind of stay in your lane. And what I mean by that is if you're attacking HQ6s, generally you're not going to be able to beat them. And that's just how it goes. Now there might be really good loot and you want to just farm the loot. This one looks pretty good actually. It's kind of easy, but what I like about this is there's this big opening on the bottom right. I'm going to pull the mirror again. I think we should be able to pull her. No, let me try over here. It's always good just to do a couple little tests. There we go, the boom car pulled her. And you guys can kind of see, the strikers weren't able to pull her, but because the boom cart was able to get in a little bit further, it still did its job. You know, it opened up the wall there. But we're gonna let that down. We're gonna send in my strikers. We'll get the brutes going ahead. Let's get some Marines to kind of back them up. Get the rest of the strikers in. I don't like how all the strikers are clumped up, but that's okay. This will open some of those left compartments. Now let's take a look for the anti-air. Don't see it. Actually, it's over there, so I'm just going to get the strikers to help clean up some of this trash. I really like being able to deploy the strikers on the back end, and especially when the brutes move through and take out the anti-air. It just helps speed up the battle. Plus, sometimes there'll be things like a mortar or a cannon that's kind of off-kilter, and you can just use the Skyfires to clean that up. This is a really simple example. This base was kind of weak in my opinion, but I like showing how there was a nice, easy approach to kind of get in. You really want to use those boom carts to help support your entire group moving forward through the base so they don't clump up. If we didn't have the boom carts, everything would have went up north and kind of wrapped around. And a lot might have actually died from the ice tower. Oh, look at that little sneaky builder hut. Not a big deal there.
I want to play.
So that's it, guys. This strategy is absolutely crushing it for me at HQ5. Like I said, it's doing really good for everybody else in the Alliance. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're consistently pumping out more Mavia content on a non-stop basis. So definitely stay tuned for the next video, and we'll see you all then. Cheers.